you lucky people out there. Well, it's part 2 of home defence, and laid out in front of you are some of the things that you might find around the average home. The average home. Now, if you're in North America or Canada, you will probably have a shotgun of some sort. You'll probably have a rifle of some sort, and a .22 rifle of some sort, or something like that. We'll get to the exact ones in a little bit. If you're in England, however, or places where guns are much more strictly governed, you might only have air guns, like these ones here. Okay, I'll show you them in a bit, or this one here indeed. Now, something like this, it's an air gun. Believe it or not, that is an air gun. Okay, there we are. Opens up like that. You've got a little round of magazine goes in there, and it gives you 8 shots. Alright, now it's an air gun. Is an air gun any good for home defence? Is it? Well, yes and no. I mean, mainly no. Obviously, it's got no power. It's got no power. What's it going to do? Even if it looks real, like this one, which is a model of a Beretta 92F or M9, whatever you want to call it. If you're in England, where almost no one has guns in their house, okay, like less than 1 in 10 has a gun in their house, the chances are if you point this at a burglar, he's going to laugh at you and he's not going to believe it's real, because it's just not, we don't see guns every day in England. So the chances are he's going to go, yeah, right, whatever, okay. Now, in North America or Canada, different kettle of fish. If you point this at someone in the half darkness where guns are around, then he might take it as a real gun and he might bugger off, you see. But what do you do if he pulls out his real gun and starts shooting at you? See, nah, like I said, it might work, it might not. If you can get away with the bravado of pointing something like this at the man and pretending that you're going to shoot him, it might just throw him off his stride enough for him to run away. Apart from that, if you've got an unarmed burglar, i.e. he doesn't come in with a gun, he's just got ordinary like fists, knives, clubs, whatever he's got, this could be useful because it's quite powerful for a pistol, and you've got to remember, you've got to maximise on what you've got. Alright, what you've got. This is a relatively low powered thing. When you when you talk about real guns, this is very low powered, it's almost laughable. But it's quite high powered if you're talking about vulnerable bits of skin. Now with something like this, it does give you the ability to reach out and touch at about 30 feet, you see. So you can stay away from the guy or the gal, because they do it as well, you know. You can stay away from them whilst sending at them a barrage of these. Now it's got a little gas chamber in here, gas cartridge, I mean, in there, you see. So it's continual fire. As long as you've got bullets in the magazine, you just pop that out, put another one in, you can keep on firing, just squeeze the trigger. There's none of this cocking business to go on, right? So the idea is, if you've got a burglar in your house, don't shoot at the body, don't shoot at the legs. Maybe shoot at the nuts if they're available, shoot at the face. Maximise the power you've got, because I bet you, any money you like, 3 or 4 of those in the face, the burglar's going to lose interest in what he was doing. He's going to want to get out because that's starting to hurt. You see, unless he's a particularly macho burglar who just says, yeah, that doesn't hurt, laughs and comes at you even harder. So yes, you can inflict damage with one of these. They're not a toy, okay, although people regard air guns as being somewhat inferior, they're not a toy. These are brilliant for barnyard clearing of rats and things, you know. But in the home defence thing, in the half darkness, this does look half real. So like I said, in North America you might get away with just turning up with a gun and saying, back off, I've got a gun. They might go, oops, shit, I'm off, and then go. And like I said, if not, send some into the face. At least you can give you some thinking time while they're nursing their sick face. It's going to give you time to get away. So yes and no. Pistols, if it's real, of course, then you're laughing because you've got a real gun and you can lay down some serious firepower. But as like I said, we're talking about air guns. Yes, they're useful. No, they're not useful. So it's one of those right in the middle things. Would I use it? Yeah, in a pinch, if I didn't have a real gun lying about and I thought I'd get away with shooting the guy in the face, I'd use it because, like I said, if you shoot him in the face, you've got time to think. and then he's got like pain already, he's going to be thinking twice about his actions. He might even just run away, you see. But be aware, these days, with the laws the way they are, if you hurt a burglar, he might sue you for hurting him. Even though in my book, the second he came in through your window, he left his human rights outside. Because why is he coming into your house if he's then going to bitch and moan about his human rights? Not on. So like I said, be aware, anything like this, if you do it, certain laws in certain countries say you might be in trouble. So, an air pistol. Like I said, if it looks realistic, yeah, you might get away with it, because that does look quite nice. And in half darkness, you know, you might get away with it. Air rifles, like this one here, okay. See, the camera angle's a bit wonky, but there you go. A nice little air rifle, yeah. Now that's quite powerful. You see, that's quite powerful. That quite easily dispatch a rabbit. But, like air rifles, you have to cock it. See, all this takes time. So you've got to bear in mind, you've got one shot every, what, 10 seconds, if you're fast. And it's a long, unwieldy thing to have in the house, because that's much better. You can walk around with it. We'll get to weapon handling in another video, but for now we're just working through what is and what isn't useful. So yes, it's a lot more powerful, can reach out and touch a lot further away, and like I say, if you shoot him in the face or the bollocks with this, he's definitely going to think again about what he's doing, you see. And this one's got a nice set of sights on it, and it's got the old laser on the top, so in the darkness you can play SWAT and put the laser dot on him, you know, that sort of thing. So yes, nice and powerful, but like I said, realise you've got a very slow rate of fire, very low power band. So I would say, yeah, you know, in a pinch, what can you do? I have seen preppers going on patrol with air rifles outside, you know. I mean, yeah, okay, if that's all you've got, then what can you do? That's all you've got. But really, you wouldn't go on patrol with an air rifle. You might hunt with an air rifle, because as a prepper, this would keep you fed. You know, this would get you rabbits and squirrels and small game. Okay, if you place a couple of good, well-aimed shots, you could take down, you know, an animal about the size of a small dog with that. Obviously not a small dog, just an animal like that sort of size, like a raccoon, I suppose, if you've got him right in the head. Like I said, you've always got to maximise your power. So yeah, in a prepping situation, air guns are very useful because they're quiet. Ammunition, you can carry thousands and thousands of rounds in your pocket without even really noticing the weight. And in a pinch, you can make your own pellets. You can put loads of things down the barrel. It's just a puff of air. So you can jam that barrel with anything. Nails or, you know, wadded up pieces of tin foil to make yourself a small pellet. So you can do lots of things with an air gun. So in a prepping situation, don't discount the old air gun, because like I said, it'll keep you fed. It's a very nice, quiet, economic way of putting food on the table and keeping your marksmanship skills up to date. Something like this is again an air rifle. It's a little Crossman 1077. It's modelled after the Ruger 1022. That's why it looks so very, very similar. This is a nice little gun. It fires with a CO2 cartridge up the spout, you see, and you just pull the trigger and you've got these rotary magazines on the bottom there, which hold 12 shots. So you've got one that in, you just flip it out, flip it around. So you've got 24 shots, but they are not powerful. This is not as powerful as that pistol, believe it or not. It should be, but the way they're restricted and the way they're done, they're not. Also, what you've got to realise is with these CO2 types is if you leave the cartridge pierced and it's pressurised, it's ready to go, you might come to pull the trigger and find out the gas has all leaked away, you see. So the best thing to do is to put the cartridge in but not pierce it. Just keep it in there. On this one you just screw this nut down and that pierces the cartridge. So do it at the last minute. On this one, the gas cartridge is in there as you saw before. This little flap looks like the bottom of a magazine. You pull that out to release the cartridge and then you slap it in to push the cartridge back up and pierce it. So you could leave this ready to go with that down and out. Down and out. That's how I feel sometimes. Okay, and then when you hear a noise, hit that. You've pierced it, you've got a fresh cartridge, you know you're going to go. Alright, so there's that. Like I said, these look very nice, and again, This will get you a squirrel, it'll get you birds, it'll put something on the table, and like I said, it'll keep your marksmanship skills up to scratch, because it's a nice little thing. You can carry spare canisters like this, got spare magazines in there, so if you're walking around with this, you can hunt in a prepping survival sort of thing. Yes, this is quite useful because, as I said before, they will put food on the table. Self-defense wise, shoot them in the face, run like hell. That's my tip. So then we move on to what you're likely to find in a gun-owning home. Well, most homes will have a shotgun of some sort. Okay, this is a nice little Hatsan shotgun. It's the tactical version, as you can tell. It's got the folding stock, which means when you're walking around the house, it's actually nice and short. Okay, it is not cocked for all those gun-safe freaks out there. It's nice and short. If you have the stock on it, it comes with a stock, which sticks out the back, obviously. It makes it long and unwieldy, but when they're in this format, it's just like a big pistol. So you can keep it quite close and you can move it around quite quickly, depending on where you need to point the thing. Okay, pump action, obviously, 12 gauge, obviously, and at the moment it's loaded with what they call target rounds, which are just small shot. It's almost like a bird shot round, but for inside the house, that is an ideal round, because penetration, you've got to think about over penetration. Okay, it's not some sort of smutty film. If you fire a shotgun in your house, it doesn't just stop when it gets to the bad guy. Okay, if you miss him, it's going to keep going, and if you've got solid slugs in here, which are effectively a big fat bullet, then that's going to go through your walls, 2 or 3 of them probably, and straight outside. So you could end up shooting someone in the street from inside your house. Whereas things like the target load or bird shot, things like that, they are a very small pellet, and the chances are they will get lodged in a wall, they will blow a hole in the closest wall, but they won't go any further than that. Because also, think about other people in your house. If you're firing a gun around, you don't want your granny or your kids in the next bedroom in danger because you're blasting big holes in the wall. You see, so a little bit of nerdy, a little bit of thinking should go on when you're working out what your self-defense round is going to be. Like I said, that's nice because that's a nice, easy shot. It will stop. There's lots of videos on YouTube. I don't have to show you. You can find them, but it will stop. You know, when it gets to plasterboard and things like that. So over penetration is cut down like that. Now, while we're talking about this, if you've got an extra magazine clip like this, the gun's obviously loaded, you could put different shells up here. So if you wanted to, you could have it loaded with your target load. You could have solid slugs up here, and you could have some double-odd buck up here, which is the big stuff. And then if you need to, you've got more firepower and more range. So that's always nice, because you can vary the load. Because that's a good thing about a shotgun, it'll fire just about anything you can shove in it. And in a prepping situation, if you've got this cartridge and the propellant, then you can cut the end of it off and you can shove what you like in there. Nails, you can shove anything, nuts and bolts, whatever goes bang, it'll push it out the end of the barrel, and your shotgun can fire anything, because it is just a great big hole, okay, through which things fly. Okay, so a shotgun, incredibly useful piece of kit, both for home defence and prepping purposes. Then we come to, well, the hunting rifle. There we go, hunting rifle. This is a, was it a 1918? Yes, it is a 1918 Lee Enfield rifle. Now, what can you say about a gun that's nearly 100 years old? Was it 97 years old? 98 years old? Still going, still firing like a new one, still looking brilliant. Okay, now this is a bolt action. Okay, bolt action. It's one of the fastest firing bolt actions out there, and it's a very, very accurate gun. But again, indoors, any long rifle is unwieldy, and if someone comes along and you're pointing that across a doorway, they can swipe it, push it out the way, they can grab the gun. Okay, so you've got to be aware of what you're doing inside. Prepping, yeah, what speaks for itself, doesn't it? It's a hunting rifle. You can shoot at a very long distance with that thing, okay? Very long distance indeed. And of course, you can take down all sizes of game, right up to deer. You see, a nice well-aimed shot, take a nice big buck, and if someone's attacking you or if you're in a self-defense situation, you can fend them off at quite some distance with one of these. Takes a 10-round box magazine, or you can have a nice little flush 5-rounder if you want to. This is looking different from your average Lee Enfield because it's been sporterised. That's what I mean when they take off all of that front end, which normally comes up to here, the wooden bit, and they reshape it, put it all back together to make it more of a sporting rifle for the civilian market. Like I said, this one here is 98 years old, 1919, and look at that, still going strong. Lovely. So that's a very useful piece of kit to have in your armoury. Now another thing that a lot of people laugh at is your humble 22, your 2.2 rifle. Now this one here is a Mossberg 715. As you can see, looks just like an AR. Alright, looks just like an AR. It's got the old laser dot thing on the front with the torch. It's got the pistol grip that folds down here. You can also have that at an angle. Very nice little beast. Now the thing about 2.2 is it's got more than enough power for home defence, because if you start rattling 2.2s off out of one of these, they are going to bugger off quite quickly. You can also hunt with it. You can also use it for longer range self-defence. Don't be put off by the fact that people piss and moan about 2.2s being small. If you load this up with CCI stingers or mini mags, it's going to reach out and touch quite well, quite a distance. And if anyone thinks that a 2.2's weak, yeah, go stand in front of one if you want to, because that's just dumb. 2.2s are not to be messed with. They are a live firearm. They will kill you if you get it wrong. Okay, so the 2.2. Home defence, now this little thing here is lovely because it's short. Right, it's lovely and short. You can hold it right back here. It's a semi-automatic, so one pull of the trigger, one bang. Okay, and you can keep doing that until you get rid of your 20. Well, it's a 25 round mag, but you never put more than 20 in it because they bind up and they don't feed well. You can see it's safe. It's got the red tab up there and the bolt's locked open for all you gun Nazis out there. Adjustable stock, so you can extend the lane. Nice and short for indoors. Extend it for when you're using it outdoors. And like I said, these are a lovely little thing. They're nice and inexpensive. Okay, I've had this one for a little while now. And they take lots and lots of gadgets. So you can suit them and boot them and dress them up however you like. And they will be a very valuable little tool in your arsenal. Again, like I said, prepping purposes, ammunition's cheap. And ammunition is small. You can carry a hell of a lot of 2.2 ammunition in your backpack or in your pocket or in your pouches, and you can go out hunting or a day's shooting or plinking, getting your accuracy back in. It's a very inexpensive way to shoot. It's a very underrated way to shoot. So I reckon every home should have a 22 of some description in it, because, like I said, it'll put food on the table, it's good for self-defence, and it's good all round for accuracy, teaching the kids how to shoot, teaching people who've never shot before how to shoot, because of course the recoil is less, so they're not so frightened of it. I mean, you give them the shotgun or you give them the Lee Enfield, boom, their shoulder goes, ah, I don't like that, it frightens them, puts them off straight away. 22 sort of eases them into it. So yes, I reckon everyone should have a 22 in their arsenal. So this is just a few of the types. Obviously I can't have thousands of guns in here because they're bloody expensive, but you get the idea. Home defence can be down to a shotgun. That's probably your best all-round bang bang for your money, a shotgun. They're quite cheap actually for what they are, but the best all-rounder is a shotgun. If you only have one gun, get a shotgun, because the diversity of ammunition you can put in it, bird shot, solid shot. Okay. The next thing, obviously, you get yourself a full bore rifle, the old 303 there, that's going to punch big holes in things, or the 22. Air guns, for those who can't have real guns, I mean, law's just bollocks really, isn't it? Let's face it. If you're going to trust someone with something like this, you can get super powerful air guns, but you still need a licence for them in other countries. So home defence on a budget. There you go, guns. Now, in another video, I'm going to take these out and show you the power, relative power. I've got some very nasty attacking me type water bottles. They've been stalking me and I have to deal with them. So we're going to take these out one day. I'm going to show you what each one of these does to your aggressive water bottle. you know, and I'll blow them all to pieces for you so you can see just exactly what the difference in power is. Obviously the live rounds up here going to make a mess of the water bottle, and you will see that the air guns are just going to poke little holes in it. But like I said, if you're going to have it for self-defense and you've got nothing else, an air gun is going to do something, and at the very least it's a long club, you can hit them with it. So there you are, a brief look at the sort of thing you might find in your average home. Like I said, European homes is probably the air guns, and English homes, sorry, and anywhere else you can have real guns. You've probably got the shotguns, the 22s and the rifles. So there's sort of a selection there. Now, I've got a series of videos coming up. As I said, this is the second one, which is the home defence guns. What can you use them for? Also, we're going to have a little video on handling of the guns while you're walking around, because there's an awful lot of Hollywood style people out there who seem to think that wandering around with a gun you've got to just stick it out in front of you. But that's the other video. We're going to go around into sensible ways of handling your guns indoors and out. So like I said, we've got lots more coming up. Firepower demo, a handling lesson, and of course, you know, bits and pieces. And we've got another one coming up which other people won't like, which is what kind of survivor are you? What are you prepared to eat to stay alive? So there we are, a brief look at some bang bangs. Please, if you've got any comments, please leave the comments, because obviously no one knows everything. I don't profess to know everything. This was just a selection and a few suggestions on how you could use them if you needed to. Everyone's got their own idea. You know, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, mostly full of crap. So yes, love to hear them. There we are. So, some bang bangs, just to get the gun nuts happy. So there we are. Catch me in the next video, number 3, coming up shortly. Thanks very much, guys. Catch you later. Bye now. I know that video was a bit dark. I do apologise about that. I should have filmed it in the daytime, but here we are. We'll give you a better look at the beasts with some more light on them, so you can get an idea of what I was talking about if you couldn't quite see it in the video. Look at that 100-year-old gun. Bloody hell, who'd have thought it, eh? Just humming along as we look at the toys. So you get the idea. So there we are. Those were the beasts we were talking about. That's quite a neat little idea there. If you don't want to fumble in your pocket for pellets, a bit of foam on a bit of double-sided hook and loop or Velcro, whatever you want to call it. Drill some holes in it, put your pellets in. They're ready on the gun then. You haven't got to fumble in your pocket. Yay! A little torch on the end. That's just for, like I said, rat clearance in barns or plinking at night. That one there's just a block of wood taped on. Really Heath Robinson. That one there, as you can see, I made a little bracket for that one to hold it. A little bipod, keep it steady when it's going. So there we are. Basically, the items we talked about. Just a bit of a closer view for you. Okay. Just in case you was upset you didn't get to see them up close. Right. Thanks very much. Catch the next video. You'll love it.